Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to continue our topic on loops. We'll discuss the different loops that are available while we're trying to create a program or an application with Java. And loops are just very helpful for making the program more functionable. It allows for it to kind of continue flowing. You can get multiple inputs from users. There's a whole bunch of different usage for a loop. In the previous video we talked about the while loop. We know that it continues to run until this condition in the brackets here is a false condition. We know that we need to set up a way for the loop to be terminated or to exit the loop, and that's by typically using a decrementing variable or what is called a sentinel value. I'll kind of make an outline of what a sentinel value would be. Just kind of based on an input, or when a program hits a certain point or is given a certain value, then the loop will be then exited. We'll kind of talk about the sentinel value another time, but for now this is the next one you got available. Oh, I don't know why Cleaner wants to tell me that now. So we have the do while loop. Okay, and this one basically runs at least once, then runs until the condition is false. Alright, so the do is you started off, this kind of a different one than the while, but we would start it off with the keyword do. We put our block brackets, the two curlies, then after you would type while, and this would take your condition into here, and then say we could do a number is less than or equal to, or sorry, greater than or equal to 10. Alright, so this is already 10 at this point, so we'd actually have to do 0 if we're going to do number in this form. And we can do the same thing that we did up here in the previous. We'll just type out actually quickly on top. Let's use this again. We'll just use a print line. We don't need the format for now. I will just say do while loop. I'll come up here and we'll just type the while loop. Alright, kind of just let you know what's going on. We did make this one equal to 0. I'm going to make it the same thing as the bottom one, greater than. We'll run it. You'll see the same outputs are exactly the same as it. Oh, no. We messed up here. That's my bad. I just told you about the sentinel value. And do while with -1. That wouldn't actually work, right? So do while the number is less than. We know that by this time it's incremented itself down to 0. So we'll just take this, we'll decrement it this time. You'll see kind of why. We could even just reinitialize it to 10 if we want the exact same output. So we could just take this and put that here and still use that negative value. We'll just go with that for now. I'll run this, kind of see what I meant by how it went. We decremented it down to 0, and we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then we jump into our do while loop and it does the exact same thing. Alright, so I'll just kind of outline the whole deal. If we took this out, you can kind of we'll be at 0 this now, knowing that the value from here went down to 0. At this point we're gonna have to add it, add it up, and then we can go with the less than equal to 10, and now it will just count the opposite way. Alright, so very simple. I will kind of highlight the key point of the do while loop. Went down to 0. Somehow we incremented it down to -1 even. Oh yeah, because of after this, it went down the last time, jumped out of the program. So in this form here now, the do while, I'll show you what this is actually doing. So say if we were to take this, number, this will only run if the number is actually equal to 0, and we'll do the same thing down here. And we know number is 10, but because the do while is actually a loop that will run all the code at least one time right here in these blocks, then when we get so far down, it will try to evaluate the condition or the comparison operator that's here. And once it figures out it's either true or false, it will just leave. If it's false, it leaves. If it's true, it continues to run until this is false. All right, so we'll just run that code and we'll see what that happens here. And get that. And there you see the number is 10. All right, the while loop did not run, but the do while did run at least one time, right? So there's some, points when you're going to actually need to do that. It's a fairly common practice, say when trying, getting an input from a user, and maybe you want to continue to get inputs from a user. Then you can, kick it out after a certain number of inputs was given, or maybe the user inputs a value and then it kicks it out. So the do while does have a quite a good use for it, and it's used when you need to run code in the blocks at least one time first and then loop it if needed. Okay, where the while loop is going to just continue to loop it so long as this is a true statement or a true evaluation. All right, so that's kind of the while and the do while. That's pretty well it for now. We'll get more in depth with these, and we'll use them in practice in the next, in future and moving forward in programs. But for now, that's pretty much it. If you like the video, just give a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, and please leave it in the comment section below. If you can subscribe to the channel and check out the rest of the channel, that'd be wonderful. And thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.